In this video, you'll learn my favorite way to play Until I Found You, using two finger-picking patterns. Now, I'll be using my tenor with low G tuning throughout this lesson. However, you can also use high G tuning. Just keep in mind that your fourth string is one octave higher than mine, so the patterns will sound a bit different with high G tuning, but they still sound beautiful. Now let's begin by looking at how to play our two patterns. We're going to play this song in 6/8 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So both of our patterns are made up of 6 beats, or 6/8 notes. Now let's look at pattern 1 on an F chord. To play F, we have our index finger on the first fret of the second string and middle finger on the second fret of the fourth string. So here's pattern 1 at a slow tempo. The rhythm of this pattern is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll pick this pattern with our thumb, index finger, middle finger, and ring finger, picking strings 4 down to 1, then going back to string 2, and finishing on string 3. And here's pattern 1 at a slightly faster tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now here's pattern 2, played slowly on an F chord. The rhythm here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To play this pattern, we'll pick string 4 with our thumb, string 2 with our middle finger, string 3 with our index finger, and then we'll finish on the first string with our ring finger. Now here's pattern 2 at a slightly faster tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're enjoying my lessons, I would love to hear from you in the comments, and please give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help to support my channel. If you'd like to download my song sheets, tab arrangements, or songbooks, you'll find them all on my Patreon page. The link is down below in the video description. Next, we'll look at how to apply the patterns to the song and how to play the chords. Now, for an easier version, you could choose just one of the patterns and play it one time on every chord throughout the song. But for this lesson, we're going to look at how to use both patterns. Now let's walk through the introduction through the first chorus. Throughout the song, for all of the chords that appear in standard font, we'll play pattern 1, and for chords that appear in bold, we'll play pattern 2. We begin the introduction to the song on a B-flat chord, playing pattern 1. To play B-flat, we have our index finger covering the first fret of strings 1 and 2, our middle finger on the second fret of the third string, and our ring finger on the third fret of the fourth string. From here we go to D minor. Now we're going to keep our index finger in place on the first fret of the second string, and we'll place down our middle and ring fingers on the second fret of strings 4 and 3. Here we'll play pattern 1 again. Next we go to an E-flat chord. We're going to move our index finger down to the first fret of the first string, and we're going to place our pinky and ring finger on the third fret of strings 2 and 3. Now for this chord, if it's more comfortable, you can also use your middle and ring fingers instead of your ring finger and pinky. Now I prefer to use my ring finger and pinky because it makes it easier to transition from E-flat to E-flat minor that comes next. So to go to E-flat minor, we're going to place down our middle finger on the second fret of the second string and move our ring finger and pinky up one string, so covering the third fret of strings 3 and 4. To finish our introduction, we have an E-flat minor chord that appears in bold. So for this chord, we'll play pattern 2. So here's how we count this introductory chord progression at a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a couple tips for you regarding your index finger to make this chord progression as smooth as possible. The first is moving from B flat to D minor. Try to keep your index finger in place rather than lifting it up as you move between these two chords. You can also keep your index finger in place on the first fret of the first string as you move from E flat to E flat minor. As we move into verse 1, the first line uses the same chord progression as the introduction, but this is all on pattern 2, going from B flat to D minor to E flat to E flat minor. So here's how we count line 1 of verse 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to continue this chord progression of B flat through E flat minor 2 more times, in line 2 and then in line 3 through the first half of line 4. And then we'll move to B flat on pattern 1, then to G minor 7. Now to go from B flat to G minor 7, we'll lift up our ring finger, keeping our index finger and middle finger in place. Then in line 5, we'll go to our F chord to play pattern 1 twice. Next, we're moving into the chorus. Now for all 4 lines of the chorus, we're going to play 3 chords on pattern 1, and then the 4th and final chord of each line on pattern 2. So we start line 1 of the chorus on E flat on pattern 1, then pattern 1 on F, then pattern 1 on B flat, and then pattern 2 on G minor 7. So here's how we count line 1 at a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 3 chords in line 2 are the same as line 1, and then we finish line 2 on a B flat 7 chord. So we go from pattern 1 on B flat to pattern 2 on B flat 7. Now to make this chord transition, starting on B flat, we're going to keep our middle finger in place on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and we'll bar the 1st fret across all 4 strings with our index finger. The first 3 chords in line 3 are also the same as lines 1 and 2, and then we finish line 3 on D minor with pattern 2. Then in line 4, we're going back to our E flat chord with pattern 1 2 times. Then we go to E flat minor also with pattern 1. And then we finish line 4 on E flat minor with pattern 2. Now we've covered how to play all the chords and how to apply the patterns. So for the rest of the song, continue to apply pattern 1 to all of the chords in standard font and pattern 2 to all of the chords in bold. Next we're moving into our play along, where I'll play and sing through the entire song, just as we've covered in this lesson. Now remember that for an easier version, you could choose just one of the patterns and play it one time on every chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For more of my song tutorials using strumming and fingerpicking patterns, see this playlist here. Have fun learning Until I Found You, and thanks for watching.